Hi, I'm Billy of the Fuji Guys, here to give you an unboxing of the Fujifilm FinePix S9400W camera. Whether you're picking the S9400W or the S9200, both of these cameras will have the same content and are very similar in features. Otherwise, the noted W, which stands for Wi-Fi, which with the S9400 has that ability to connect to a smartphone to transfer images. So let's just take a look at the contents, but the contents should be the same for both the S94 as well as the S9200. Okay, so when you pick up the camera for the first time and open it up, the first thing that you're going to, of course, see is the owner's manual as well as a software CD. Now, the owner's manual is really a smaller, version of the full manual. If you want to download the full version of the manual, it's available on the CD as a PDF in numerous languages, as you can see that's indicated here. Again, that's just that. You also have the strap inside here. This is, of course, for the lens cap to protect dust and scratches from the lens. So again, I'm just going to put the box aside and leave the string for a second. I'm going to grab a few things. As I mentioned, this is the lens cap for the camera. And of course, with the string that you have, you're going to end up looping the string through the little hole there. And all you have to do is just slide it through, and it should come out in the other way, the other end, and then you just loop that through. And that's going to allow you to, of course, connect that securely. And then, of course, the other end will go on to the strap eyelids on the camera. So let's talk about the camera. Let's take the camera out of its packaging. And we should have the camera itself. This is the S9400W version, noted with the W meaning Wi-Fi again. This is a 50 times zoom camera. Again, this camera is nice and sturdy-wise. It is not the smallest, long zoom camera, but it's offering you 50 times zoom, and it's also offering you both an LCD as well as an EVF. You got the LCD protector there, so you can actually peel that off if you wanted to as well. Okay, so you got a nice brand new screen. And again, I'm going to put the camera aside for a second and go through the other contents. Let's just grab some of the batteries that are included with this camera. It actually uses 4 AA batteries. What's included, of course, is just one-time use alkalines. And of course, if you are picking up this camera, I highly recommend you buy a good set of nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries that can last quite a long time with this camera. And if you look at some of the low discharge NIMH batteries, those are ideal for this camera, or for any device for that matter, because it doesn't have the same characteristics of auto discharging on its own, or at least a lot less than standard nickel metal hydride. So look for the low discharge nickel metal hydride options out there. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for a second. You got the strap for the camera. And again, it's a nice strap. Fujifilm sides, there's a nice width to it. There's a little bit of texture on this side so that when you have it around you, it's not going to slip. And again, these attach to either end of the camera there. So I'm going to put the strap aside. And what else do you get here? You get a USB cable. So the USB cable looks like to be not exactly a micro USB cable, so it's a little bit unique. And of course, this is used to download images from the camera to the computer. And again, you have the connectors right there, as you can see. Just plug it in. And of course, above it, you have the mini HDMI port if you want to connect it to a TV to play back images and video. You don't really need the USB cable if you are using a card reader. This is what I do at home anyways. It's going to be less stress on the port on the camera by constantly unplugging and plugging the cable, so it's better off that you use a card reader instead, but it is included, which is nice. The lens cap, again, is pressure mounted here, and you just clip it on, and it stays in place. And like I said, again, you can loop this piece of string on the side here so that when you take it off, it's actually just dangling for you, okay? So again, I'm just going to put the camera aside. Let's get the camera started for the first time. So let's look at where the battery door is. You can see the lock, it's right there. You slide down and push it to the right, and then it should allow you to open up. And you have access to the 4 AA batteries as well as the memory card slot. So let's put the batteries in, and then of course there's instructions here, of course, on which orientation the battery should be going into the camera. And again, you want to make sure that if the camera's not powering on, that you have the batteries in the correct orientation, as well as that you also have the batteries being charged, okay? One last thing, of course, to talk about, of course, is the memory card. It is not included with this camera, so you do have to pick one up. I recommend a Class 6 card if you're doing HD videos, and buy from a reputable brand, because not all cards, even though they indicate a speed, generally some are slower, and you notice that by the price point in some of these cards. But again, on a typical day, I would recommend at least a minimum of an 8 gig card as well as a Class 6 rated card. Generally, I would go more with the Class 10 and with a 32 to 16 gig card instead, but it can accept SDHC cards and XC cards all the way up to a 64 gigabyte capacity, okay? So I'm just going to insert that in. You can't, you push it in, and you push it in again to pop it out, and you can't insert it incorrectly, like I said, so don't try to jam it in. And then you clip it in place. So when you turn on the camera, you can hold the on and off switch, or you can actually just hold the playback button. It's up to you. I'm just going to turn the on and off switch, and the first time you turn on the camera, it's going to ask you for the menus in terms of the language selection. So I'm going to select English by using the directional pad here, and push OK. Okay, and the camera is ready to go. Now, if it didn't ask you for the date and time, you can go back into the menu, pushing the menu OK button. You've got two tabs, the shooting tab and the setup tab. So again, you push left, down, and right, and now you're in the setup tab, and here you can change some of the parameters like the date and time. If you accidentally push too fast, this is where you can actually correct that information. Okay, and of course you can change the languages here if you quickly enter the wrong language in the first place. It's also a good part where you can actually reset the camera if something's gone wrong. You can reset this and the camera will go back to its factory default, which is a safe way of making sure that everything's set and ready to go. Okay, so to take a photo of the camera, you got the shutter release button, you take a snapshot. You can push halfway down to pre-focus and all the way down to take the photo, as you can see there. To playback images, you can push the playback button on the back of the camera, and using the directional pad, you can rotate to go to the next image, or you can push left or right. Okay. If you want to delete the image, you can push up, and then you bring up the delete screen where you can choose from the current frame. You can select the frames, or you can do all frames. Here, I'm just going to delete that current frame, and then push up, and then it says to confirm, push OK. And then again, it goes to the next photo. Do you want to delete it? And this is a great button to use. It's called the display back button. Anytime you make an error or mistake, just push this so that you don't confirm anything. Again, if you're in the menus, you want to get out of it, just push display back and you'll be out of it, okay? To do videos, there's no specific down and top. There's different shooting modes here, of course. The SR Auto Plus, manual mode to control shutters and aperture. You get the nice panoramic mode. There's some scene position modes here. Again, you would go into the menu to select the different scene options. And of course, aside from that, I talked about the video. To do recording, you should push the record button in the back. It actually starts the recording process automatically. It also allows you to take photos during recording. Here it says I can take 64 shots. And it drops to 63, drops to 62. The video continues to record. I can zoom in, zoom out during the recording process, as you can see here. And again, I can stop the recording by pushing the record button. Okay. Now, to review those images and videos that I've just been that's just taken, push the playback button. And again, these are the images shot during the video. And if I go through the video file, you'll see that there's actually stripes to the side of each of this icon. So you can push down to play it. Automatically. It also allows you to take photos during recording. Here it says so again, you got two left and right stereo mics. And then you got the speakers on the bottom right there. You can pause, you can fast forward the video a little bit, do slow motion fast forward. You can continue to play it, or you can stop it, okay? So that's just a quick look at the getting started for this camera. Don't forget to watch my other videos on some of the features of this camera and how to use it. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And till then, I guess, I'm Billy of the Fuji Guys.